Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition. I got DJ Z-Bot.
There you go. Yeah.
Business. He's in the house right now. We're up to it. The Steelers are helping out the Bills right now. The score being 31-8. Who would have thunk? The way the Steelers have been playing the last few weeks, we're thinking they've mailed it in. It's over and done with. Are they helping the Bills out with potentially beating the Cincinnati?
Oh, they are. Because I just went to the simulator to check on it. Let me tell you what we just got from these Steelers. So, currently the Bills, I don't know what changed over the week because I thought the last I had checked, the Bills were at like 70. But I just checked, and the updated simulator on New York Times has the Bills at 63. If the Bengals would have won, it would have dropped the Bills to 58. The Steelers win, bumps them to 68. And then if the Bills win, they bump themselves to just under 80.
Hey!
So a massive swing could be in the cards this evening, my brother.
That is massive. You go from potentially being down to 58% chance to getting in to 80.
I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's because Cincy stole that game against Minnesota last week, and you kind of forget about them because Burrow got hurt, but they would have had the same record as the Bills if the Bills won, but they would have the tiebreaker. So I guess that it all makes sense.
Man, the NFL is a wacky place to be. You think you understand everything. You think you have a grasp on, okay, this is how it's probably going to go down. And then you have a game like this, right? So now the Bills have to do what the Bills have to do, and that's just play good football, sound football, and not allow these teams to, what do they do normally? Hang around. We let teams hang around, and all of a sudden, fourth quarter, it's a close game, and you're like, how? Why? We just can't allow that to happen. We got to get up on these boys real quick. But before we get deep down into seeing the analysis of the Chargers Bills game, how have you been feeling this week leading up to this game? I'm sure it's been up and down for you. Are you geeked? Are you kind of I'm not sure, or like, how you feeling? I want to know your overall thoughts.
I'm feeling the exact opposite of what I hope the Bills are feeling, because all I can think about is Dolphins Cowboys tomorrow and then Dolphins Bills week 18. The Bills cannot have the same mentality that I do, because I'm looking at this tonight. Easton Stick, Keenan Allen's out. I do not know who the Steelers head coach, or the Chargers head coach is tonight. I do not know who he is. If you were to offer me $400 billion cash right now to even give you his first name, I would be broke.
Yeah, you'd be broke. You'd be broke. You owe a lot of money.
Right. And then, I can't even remotely fathom getting swept by this Patriots team. So that hasn't even entered my mind. That's next week. So then my mind goes to Miami, because every time you go to this playoff simulator, it all comes down to week 18 against the Dolphins. And the Dolphins have to lose one of their next two at least in order for that game to be for the division, should the Bills win their next two. And we know they got the Cowboys tomorrow and then the Ravens next week. So I'm as excited as I've been in months because of the prospects at hand. But when we're talking about this game in particular, Rico, it is very hard to get excited about it. I have got to readjust my focus and understand that these games, no matter who they're against, are as big as the rest. And it doesn't matter, as you just said, we're watching unfold right now. Mason Rudolph off the couch absolutely decimate this Bengals team, an interdivision team. This doesn't happen. So anything's possible. And I really got to adjust my mindset to overlooking these next 2 weeks.
I would totally agree. It's so hard not to look ahead. It's so difficult. And this is why it's a beautiful thing to be a fan and a content creator and not a player, because we get to do the whole looking ahead thing. The players get to do the one game at a time. But my goodness, is it ever hard. I mean, no Keenan Allen today. You've got no Justin Herbert, clearly. You mean Austin Eckler's looking like a shell of himself. Their next best receiver is Josh Palmer, and he's got what 40 receptions to
and
Keenan
he's
Allen.
what in his second year.
Like, my goodness,
I got to tell you, man, the only way this game isn't featuring Kyle Allen in the fourth is if I that's where I'm at right now. Like I can't understand, because it's not only the offensive injuries, of course, massive injuries, but the Chargers have one of the worst pass defenses in the entire league as well. So it's not like, the offense is the big highlight here as far as not having Herbert and Allen, which are, of course, the storylines. Their defense is also horrendous. So when you try to sit back and be an unbiased fan here and figure out a way the Bills lose this, it would have to be a carbon cut copy of week 1 where Allen throws 4 or 5 picks and the Chargers get a punt return and a pick 6. Because other than that, the Bills would truly have to have an all-time meltdown to lose this game, much less, not win this game by double digits.
And I'm so glad that you brought up the Chargers defense, because
there it is.
There it is. This is what we're looking at. We're looking at a 29th ranked total yards, 28th ranked in points allowed, and you're 30th, near the bottom of the league in passing yards allowed per game. And this is where Josh excels. This is where you'll see big things coming. So,
and this as well, Rico, which I keep overlooking because of the other 2 injuries. There's no Nick Bosa as well, or Joey Bosa. So it's a Chargers team that not only is decimated from an injury perspective, as well as losing both their head coach and their GM in the same week after putting up the worst performance in franchise history last week on a national stage.
Awful.
But
awful.
This is also a team that you got to think they're booking their flights for early January vacations. They have got to be checked out. They just allowed 63 points to the Las Vegas Raiders.
41 at half.
Dude, I couldn't believe what I was watching. So I don't know. I don't understand how there's a scenario tonight where it's not just crack a couple beers and have a ball watching this beatdown.
And sometimes those games are fun to watch. I mean, how many games have we been on the edge of our seats? Our hearts are hitting, and we're so used to this. Sometimes we deserve, as a fan base, a time to just kick back, like you said, crack open a beer, and just chill.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can walk away from the game, go make myself something to eat upstairs, and not have to miss anything, I'm content if that could happen. I'm hoping that's the vibe we get today against these damn Chargers. Now, is there a scenario where they keep things interesting? What would allow such it's laughable, but what would allow such things to happen?
Well, Austin Eckler would have to have a resurgence. Like you said, they have seemingly not only gotten nothing out of him, but have given him nothing to provide them with. He doesn't even seem to be a focal point anymore, even last week with the injuries. And they go to Isaiah Spiller, who's their second back. I mean, that's the other option. But like I said earlier, right, the only possible way is if there's a special teams touchdown, a defensive touchdown, Josh Allen goes out there and acts like the game's already won, and he's just slinging it around the yard for no reason, throwing picks and taking sacks and whatever else. That is the only way. Other than that, if you're asking me, is there a way they can go toe-to-toe, drive for drive? I mean, it would be one of the most shocking things of the entire season if that happened.
Absolutely. And listen, I put you on the spot. We know we both know well that it's not going to happen. I mean, I even see Chargers fans in comments, and we have both our shows this week have done extremely well, and we've got fans of the other team coming in, and they're saying, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys ran for 200 yards on us. Like, you guys are going to run us out the building. We're just showing up just to show up. I mean, fans of the Chargers don't feel confident whatsoever. So if they're telling you that, that's what it is. And even furthermore, I'm reading the information on the Chargers on how big of a mess they are. According to some that are close to the team, Staley, this guy best for the Chargers. He was favoritism. He had player favoritism. There was no respect in the locker room for himself. You even had the coaching staff not respecting the play calls he'd make. Just not great. So it was just a matter of time. And then on top of that, he sealed his fate. He sealed his fate by saying, I got respect in the locker room, and the only time that I'm going to lose respect or lose this team is if we get blown out the building. Well, got blown out.
Let me tell you something, Rico, about that guy, okay? The fact that he had a job until last week was a minor miracle. I would have canned him on the tarmac after blowing that game to the Jaguars in the wild card last year. That was one of the worst blown games I have ever seen. Awful. They are wasting Justin Herbert. You are watching unfold right now just how big of an asset he is to that team. I've heard people talk about him being overrated, and I can't understand how you come to that conclusion when Brandon Staley, a defensive coach, walks out on a weekly basis, one of the worst defenses in the league, and it's not like they don't have solid players on that end. I don't understand it. The Chargers are an anomaly in the sense that you look at their roster, and if you were to just play fantasy football in your mind, you would think this team is a given playoff team every year. They have been anything but. They are a weekly, shit show away from a loss every single week. Every single week, you are ready for the LA Chargers to do something Chargesian, as we are used to the Bills doing Billsian things. Right. But the Chargers are on a whole other level. But Brandon Staley in particular, the fact that he even had a job up until last week is incredible. The fact that it took a 63-point drubbing from the Raiders is incredible. But we all knew that from a managerial perspective and an ownership perspective, when Herbert went down, that was going to be the easiest out for them with Staley because you have, obviously an ample amount of reasoning to get rid of him at the time after a performance like that. But he was gone at the end of the year regardless. And I just go back to last year and wonder, with all the coaching decisions he had made late in games, the year prior, remember when he blew the opportunity to tie with the Raiders? Yep. And he went for it. Instead, Raiders beat him. That guy has been a dead man walking for probably 2 years now. So I have no sympathy for that guy. I think he was one of the worst coaches in the league up until last week, and now he's gone.
Listen, there's some guys that have the look of a head coach, and there's some guys that don't. I mean, we saw how people used to roast the heck out of Ken Dorsey. Well, like, what does he look like? If you were to catch Ken Dorsey, look like a maniac, right? And but apparently, good guy and all, and lost his job, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, we look at Staley and what he did with the Chargers. Like you said, wasted. Absolutely wasted. They want to say that McDermott is wasting Josh Allen. My goodness, McDermott at least can field a top 10 defense. At least he's living up to it. Staley was supposed to come in and shore up the defense. He's been a bottom of the league, bottom of tier defense. That's your specialty, and you're not even helping your offense. Man, good riddance. As Charger fan, I feel for them. I do.
I mean, imagine with McDermott, right? Because I say this all the time, even when I'm on my soapbox bitching about McDermott after certain times, and we've done that throughout the years here after certain games. You can't say that his specialty, he hasn't been one of the best at it in the league since he's been the head coach. With Staley, it's been the complete opposite. So it's mind-blowing that he had a job, man. It really is.
It is mind-blowing. So, folks, if you guys are watching the game, and I love that Z-Bot is in rant mode, because I need you to explain to me what the hell are Bills fans going to do if they can't watch this game, because they gotta get the game on Peacock.
Let me tell
you about the Peacock.
Let me tell you, that's one of the things I'm most excited for tonight, the opportunity to dust off the old Peacock password, log in, and take a look at a streaming platform that I've probably been paying for and not used for at least a year now. How about it? Peacock exclusive. How lucky are we to be the first featured on the Peacock exclusive? Rico, it's truly a holiday blessing that the Bills are going to be the face of Peacock tonight. I can't believe we have got to come back full circle to where we were with cable, where we can just put all this shit under one umbrella.
Thank you.
I pay for the Sunday ticket. And even with that, which was like $300 some bucks, by the way, even with that, you still got to have ESPN. You still got to have Amazon Prime. You still got to have Peacock. Next year, you're going to probably need to have Discovery Plus. You're probably going to have Disney Plus for the Super Bowl next year. They'll probably do it on there or something. It's getting crazy. But at the same time, you look at it and you're like, oh, $5, whatever, and you move on. That's what I'll do. And the gimmick is, of course, I'll forget about it, and I'll end up giving these guys $60 over the year until I look back and be like, oh my God, I've been paying these guys all year. I haven't used this since the Bills game.
Well, I'll tell you, man. I'm kind of puzzled. I don't know, Rev. You have a little volume is up on your side, my man. I don't know what's going on, but I got to figure out what's going on with myself, because I got myself on DAZN, and DAZN better not mess around with me. I better have my game, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get Peacock. So
I got to take Rev out. I hate to do that, by the way. I think Rev might be in a public bathroom or something. I can't tell.
I don't know where Rev is at. Rev's got a Christmas hat on. I don't know if he's at a Christmas party, and he came. He's like, yo, give me guys a second. I got to go do some live stuff. I don't know what's going on.
I was going to ask you, though, Rico, do the Canadians have the pleasure of access to Peacock? Is that you guys got it, or what's the deal?
Honest to goodness, I'm actually hoping that DAZN bypasses all of that, and they have a deal with Peacock, and they're just going to put the game on, because I'll tell you right now.
I heard they do. I heard Canada's got it on TV, Rico. That's what I was told on Twitter.
Okay, well then we set. So you Americans got to figure something out. But I'll be damned if they got to tell me I got to get Peacock and try to get that there. So
they're taking us Americans to the shed. They're nickel and diming us every chance they get. It's unbelievable.
Taking y'all to the shed. Zeba, talk to me about something, man. And we're gonna go away from the Bills for a bit, but you're looking around the league and you're seeing what's happening, and these Steelers right now are putting the business to Cincinnati. Have you? And I know you're the connoisseur when it comes to the playoff simulator. Oh. What else has to happen in order for us to kind of get an advantage to you know what I mean to further ourselves and get closer to getting to this playoffs?
Yeah. So I've had a million, and it's getting bad when you're getting like my friends' moms texting me and stuff, because no one knows what the hell to do. This is the worst place to be in if you're not like insane fans like us, because it requires having to understand things outside of just the simple, oh, the Bills are already in, can't wait for the playoffs. And we're not used to this after a couple of years here. I mean, we certainly were back in the day. Yeah. And that's when we were really we were the entrepreneur type fans who would really go the extra length to be able to find the numbers. I don't know why I said entrepreneur. I meant to say connoisseur, like you said. That's when we really were the connoisseur. I mean, we were the Albert Einsteins, man. We were running the numbers, getting the calculator out, right? This is how simple a picture I can paint for you right now, Rico. And it's what I've been telling everybody, because to me, there's other scenarios, but this is the best way to put it. And to me, it's also the most possible, in my opinion.
All right.
Simple as that. Bills beat the Chargers and the Patriots. The Dolphins lose to either the Ravens, the Cowboys, or what I think happens, both.
It'd be two.
And then with that, Week 18 essentially becomes a playoff game where the winner is your AFC East champ. The other scenario that can happen where the Bills will get in is if the Broncos, who might win out, if they lose one more. There's other scenarios that I think have to happen going into this, but when I used the simulator and went with the favorites, if the Broncos had lost one more in Week 18, the Bills could still lose to the Dolphins and get in. So there's scenarios where they can lose to the Dolphins and still get in, but we have to remember what Josh Allen has been against this Dolphins team. So I don't even know off the top of my head all of the scenarios that have to unfold for the Bills to be able to lose to the Dolphins and get in, because I'm that confident in the Bills' ability to go in there and do it. And when we get to that point, Rico, I don't care about the 7th seed. I want that 4th seed, and I want the AFC East title because nobody wanted it more this year.
Yeah, boy.
They think they had it wrapped up weeks ago. And when I watched those Tennessee Titans pull off the unfathomable last week, my first thought was, this is going to be an all-time year. When we look back at what the Dolphins fans were saying and the opportunity at the hand of the Bills currently, that's why I want that particular scenario to play out. And Rico, when you do go through it, it's also the most likely for the Bills to get into the playoffs and have their best seed in those playoffs.
And the whole time I'm thinking, what's up, Red? What's happening?
What up, baby? What up, man? My bad, y'all. I had the TV on. I forgot to mute it. So that's
No,
why
we're
y'all
good. We're good now.
hanging
We
out in
got
the
we're
background.
because we can hear the TV. We can hear the. I don't know what you were listening to in the background, but it sounded good. But yeah, I'm looking at all the scenarios, and Zeba, you got me going to the NY Times trying to poke things and do what I got to do.
It's
But I
unreal.
was like,
I'm in there
hey,
right now.
let me be realistic and be like, all right, let's just say we went out right up until the Dolphins game, and let's just say for some reason we lose to the Dolphins. Was there a scenario that we still get in? And you kind of gave it to me with the Broncos a little bit. So we're hoping that we don't have to be in that situation, obviously. But that is something that does you know what I mean, kind of creep up into my mind when thinking about how these Bills got to get in. Now, here's something that's wild. I need to tell y'all something that's wild. I'm listening to analysts talk about these Bills, right? And what's really wild is the Bills are the sneakiest team and they're the best. They're playing the best football right now. And no team wants to see this team and so on and so forth, which I totally agree. But they're not even in the playoff right now as a wild card. How wild is it for people to be talking about this team that's not even in the wild card spot? They're in the hunt still. The Bills have an opportunity to make the playoffs, but we're not that far out from not making the playoffs because we've blundered it so much. But teams are like, analysts are so damn confident in us that they're already just saying, like, listen, if these guys get Colin Cowherd, I know Zebal loves Colin Cowherd.
He's got to
Yeah,
stop.
man. Yeah.
I had he does have to stop.
He needs to stop putting that out there. They need to let them just be quiet until we get there.
I had a premonition that the Bills made the Super Bowl. McIntyre's like, you mean the playoffs? He's like, no, Super Bowl. I was like, golly, Colin, don't do it to us, man.
Right.
And McIntyre's the biggest Bills hater on earth, so he didn't want to hear that either.
He's a huge.
Oh, he hated. He can stand
be
it.
quiet until they get in. I'm sick and tired of this becoming public. The Bills were quiet the last couple of weeks, and now all of a sudden they're everybody's darling. So everybody needs to can it until week 18 is done, and then you can start talking about it, and I'll be all in with you.
I think what the issue is, man, fellas, is that they see this team and they see what they look like right now and how they've been playing the last few weeks, and they're like, yo, this team is getting hot right now. They've gone on a run in years past. It's eerily reminiscent of 2021 Bills, and you know, maybe even better in terms of just how they've been playing. And if they make it, nobody, and that's just the truth, like if they make it, I don't care if it's a 7 seed, if they make it in the way they're playing right now, nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to see this current Buffalo Bills team in the playoffs. I don't care what seed they are. I don't care if you're the Chiefs or the Ravens. They don't want to see this Bills team, and that's why everybody's kind of like, oh shoot, you know, let's watch out for these Bills.
Well, listen, we could talk about anybody. Nobody wanted to see a certain team in the playoffs, but speaking of things that you want to see, what is something that you want to see from this team in this game? Anything specific? Does anything stand out to you? I mean, I'm going to put the first one out there. What do you want to see from Gabriel Davis? What do you need to see from Gabe Davis? Rev, I got to start with you, bro. Like, obviously, Gabe Davis is our dude. You know what I'm saying? He's number 2 receiver. You know what I'm saying? Number 2 receiver.
Is he though?
Yeah, that's the question. So, what do you need to see from Gabe Davis?
Hey, Rick. For me though, bro, like honestly, what I want to see from Gabe is just a clean game, bro. Like, first of all, catch something. You know what I'm saying? Catch something. Show me that you and Josh, you know, have some kind of a connection. And he,
my man Rev's on
that peacock
50 yards, and that's it. Going out, man.
Rev is peacocking right now, man.
That's gonna be half the Bills fan base trying to illegally rip Peacock tonight to watch the Bills.
Rev's gonna come back, but as he gets his stuff together, I know he's feeling right now. He's like, God, what the hell?
I know he was in the middle of it. I hate that. It happens to me before. It sucks,
buddy. It sucks big time. So what about? Are you as concerned with Gabe Davis and his play as of late? I mean, just to kind of give you a little heads up, he's got 8 catches in 5 games, the last 5 games, and of those 8, he had 6 in the Philadelphia game.
Yeah.
So it goes to tell you he's got 3 games that he's got 0 catches.
Yeah. Your
thoughts? Are you as concerned? Or are you like, nah, he'll get it together. Don't worry about it.
I don't care. He had 6 catches in that Philly game and they lost. Mm-hmm. And you know, the Prolac, I mean, nothing against KC win. Nothing last week, and granted, nobody did anything last week. Dalton Kincaid didn't have a catch either last week. Who the hell cares? You could have told me, I mean, hell, Rico, you could have been handing the ball off to Cook, and I could have been, the one calling the plays. Because all Joe Brady sat up there and said is, man, they can't stop the run. Keep running it. And he even said so. Don't fix it if it's not broken, right? And that's exactly what he did. So I look at it for what it is right now. And Gabe Davis is not going to be a prominent feature in this game unless the defenses strictly come out and format their style of play to allow him to all of a sudden be a game breaker. Now, is that going to happen tonight? I highly doubt it. At the same time, this passing defense for the Chargers is so bad, anybody could have a great night tonight. It just depends on who ends up getting the bulk of the targets. But if you're asking me what I think about with Gabe Davis and his relation to winning and losing here, as we've seen, I don't know if a high production or low production translates either way and tips the scale all that much, because the way that they're playing right now is exactly how I want them to continue to keep playing. And I really don't know if a uptick in Gabe Davis production is going to swing that one way or the other. As long as, Allen's being productive, not turning the ball over, and they're continuing to run the ball, and they're continuing to maintain the advantage in possession time. I look at it right now the way I've been looking at it since the Bills got into this scenario where they have got to continue to win to make the playoffs. And that is, I'm done trying to dissect particular aspects of this team until they're in the playoffs, because I don't care how they do it so long as they do it just because they have got to do it. And they've been doing everything that they have been, asked of in order to accomplish that. And they've been doing it in different ways, Rico. That's what I've loved so much about this team as of late. Defensively, they've been incredible, but offensively, you can just tell there's more of a patience. There's more of a willingness to take what the defense gives you and imply common sense, where I just thought that there wasn't a whole lot of that with Ken Dorsey. So if that means, Gabe Davis all of a sudden is a guy who winds up getting 7-8 targets tonight, or he's a guy who ends up with 0 catches again, like he's had a few times this year, it's not going to swing me either way as far as what I think I need to see from him, just because I like what I'm seeing right now in general from this offense. Keep it rolling.
Listen, I didn't expect to hear that you don't care. You're like, I'm not as concerned. Now, I don't want to say you don't care, but you're not as concerned. By the way, the Steelers are unraveling. They're just whooping ass right now. The Jake Browning just threw another pick.
Oof.
And Steelers are up 31-8. And number 56, I can't remember who number 56 is, but he just jumped that route. And listen, it's a wrap, man. I don't think the Bengals have it, man. The Bengals are unraveling as we speak. Oof, good play by the linebacker. But Gabe Davis, see, I see it a little differently. But before I get into my take, we got to talk about underdog fantasy. And some folks are still, in the hunt and still playing fantasy ball. And I don't want to talk about it. I'll let my man Z-Bot and my man Pierre talk about this. Let me run this clip for y'all, and we'll be right back after this.
Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. It's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. In the Pick'em game, you can pick whether your favorite players will have a higher or lower stat total in that week's game for a chance to win big. And as you already know, I'm going Josh Allen higher in yards every single week. So sign up today with promo code Buffalo Fanatics and get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with promo code Buffalo Fanatics to get your first deposit doubled up to $100.
And there we have it. So listen, Josh Allen, if you're picking Josh Allen, pick him on everything high, because right now he's on the verge of breaking mad records. But before we get into Josh Allen, man, listen quickly.
Real quick to because you tweeted it last week about his MVP odds. Remember?
That's right.
I bet on him at plus 2,000. He's down to plus 800 going into tonight.
You might make some money on this one, man.
So I'm telling you, Purdy's the favorite. If he loses to Lamar will then be the favorite. I think Josh Allen goes into second. And then I think if Allen wins out and wins the division, we could very likely have an MVP quarterback in Buffalo.
You're freaking right. I was just talking about that last night. I'm looking at Brock Purdy. Love what Brock Purdy's done. But let's not forget, Brock Purdy took 3 games in a row where he just could not get it together. 3 games in a row, and he lost. He's now starting to get back his mojo. Debo Samuel's coming back makes a huge difference. And
you know what?
He's a little healthy.
Let's go there because I haven't had this conversation with someone in a while, and I want to talk about it because I want to know what is this award? Is this award the best quarterback performance in the league this year, or is this award the most valuable player? Because if it's the most valuable player, then it should be a rotating win between Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and that it might stop there. I can, if you gave me more time, maybe I could think of a couple more people. But, we're watching the Bengals. They're getting destroyed tonight. But up until tonight, more than competitive and winning games with Browning. Obviously, Joe Burrow, a much better quarterback. But if the Bills were in this same scenario, they're not winning those games and they're not nearly as competitive. They're not built to be that way offensively. If we're talking about the word valuable, I don't know if there's been anybody more valuable to their team, maybe other than Patrick Mahomes, than Josh Allen since he's entered the league. Brock Purdy is a phenomenal quarterback, and everybody wants to argue about these game managers and whatever. I think being a game manager is extraordinary because you want to know what that means? You're winning games. If you're being called a game manager, that means you're winning games. Nobody calls losing quarterbacks game managers, right? Mm-hmm. But with that said, is he as valuable to the Niners as Josh Allen is to the Bills? And I would love for anybody out there, to go and find the person who says yes to that, and please deliver them to me and have them give me the argument as to how that's
deliver them to
where
me.
They stand. What do you think?
It's a great question because I was going over in my head, and then I just put it out there. It's kind of like you're like, you know what? Let's talk about this. And I went on a mini rant.
Everybody's arguing about it, Rico, right? And it's really irritating me because they're arguing about it in the wrong way, in my opinion.
Well, what's the right way? First of all, let's define the MVP. So you have to have statistics to become an MVP. You can't be a mediocre, statistically good quarterback. Your team's winning, but you're modest. You're a game manager. Is that good enough for you to become an MVP, right? Or is it statistically based? I don't care if your team is winning or not. How's your TD to interception ratio? How many yards are you rushing for? How many rushing TDs do you have? Right? Yep. Those are the things that you want to see as your statistical leader in MVP. So which is it? To me, it's all of the above. You got to find your ways to kind of bottle them up in one thing and say, this is your MVP. So then let's look at it, right? Purdy right now is second in the league in yards passing. He's got just under, I think he's just shy of 38 to 3,900 yards. Number one in the league right now is Tua Tagovailoa.
Another one. The exact same argument. Another one.
There's another one. You talk about you sounded like you my boy DJ Khaled. Another one. So here we go. So he's got 3,800 yards. He's on a winning team. He's got his team to 10 wins, 10, 11 wins right now. And right now they're cooking. TD to interception ratio is quite it's a nice number. But you got some dogs on your team. You got Williams at left tackle. You ain't nobody touching you with that, man. You got Debo Samuels, you got Brandon Ayuk, you got CMC. Your offense, and that same offense, not much has changed in that offense. Jimmy G was able to do the same damn thing. So are we overvaluing Brock Purdy? Is it too much? Can I put Jake Browning on the San Francisco 49ers? Can he do the damn thing? What about CJ Beathard? This is what we're looking at. So now, statistically, yes, but then if I pluck you off the team and put somebody on, are they able to do the same thing you're doing? Right? If I put Josh Allen on San Fran, is he runaway freaking MVP? I'm sure he would be.
I don't even want to know what that would look like because I would be instantly jealous. I can't even imagine.
So now, Lamar Jackson. To me, I don't think Lamar Jackson deserves to be a part of this conversation.
Not this year. I agree with you completely.
I don't even know why they're even talking about him being part of the MVP talk.
I know why. Because if the season ended today, Baltimore would be the 1 seed. That's what has happened. The quarterback of the 1 seed is immediately gifted the MVP.
Sad.
That's why. If Josh Allen had the same numbers today and the Bills had won the Patriots game and the Jets game week 1, guess what? He'd be the MVP right now. That matters, and it's unfortunate. But that's why Lamar, to answer your question, Rico, is second right now in the betting odds. He hasn't had the year. He hasn't had close to the year he had when he won it. But I will say, to your point, when asking that question, We have seen what the Ravens are without him, and they're not nearly the same. This is the healthiest he's been in a long time. This is the first time in 2 years he's played in December. And look at him. They're the 1 seed. So I get it, because it's back to the point I was making earlier. Valuable. They could not win in December without him. They couldn't win in the playoffs without him. They have been a better team this year, and they are the 1 seed today because of him. But they are also, in my opinion, not good enough this year because of him entirely for him to be the MVP favorite in the AFC right now, if that makes any sense. It's such an odd conversation, but that's how I see it.
And listen, at the end of the day, this is what it comes down to. Josh wins out. He's got to be the clear-cut MVP. There's no questions about it. He's going to be 4 years in a row at 40-plus touchdowns. He's probably going to get it this game, right? Yes, he's throwing interceptions. We get that part, but I don't know if you saw this, but Dan Orlovsky was on. I don't know if he was on Get Up, if he was on First Take, but he was talking about the history of quarterbacks with interceptions and what they've done. High interception rate is, yes, it's an eyesore, but usually it's tagged along with high touchdown rate. And Josh Allen is among the elites that have done that and won a championship. All the quarterbacks that have won a championship in the last few years were top 2, top 3 in interceptions. So Josh being at 14 interceptions, and if we keep rolling the way we're rolling, ain't nobody going to be talking about that when we win the Super Bowl. So dead all the interception talk. Is he producing? Is he getting us wins? He is right now. Let's keep it moving. And if he keeps getting the dubs, and he wins an improbable game against the Miami Dolphins at the end to A, get us into the playoffs, and B, take the AFC East, fam.
And it'll be in primetime guaranteed, and everybody knows a primetime performance. It sticks out more than anything when it comes to these betting markets, and it comes to these votes and how they're swung. Like you'll see as of late, all of a sudden, Puka Nacua now is getting the majority of the Rookie of the Year talk because Bryce Young's hurt and Puka went off the other night. Single games matter a ton. That's why, because Brock Purdy has such little margin for error because of all the arguments people are making surrounding him in the MVP. If he loses to Baltimore tomorrow, it's over for him. He will not win it.
Listen, we know Dan Mitchell very well. That's our dude. And
you better believe it. He's the producer of The Greatest Story Ever Told, if you haven't heard.
This is what I'm talking about, man. If you need some actors, talk to us now. It's getting to the point where it's lovely to talk about the story that's being written right now. The script writers at the NFL are busy. They are absolutely busy right now. They're trying to figure out how things are going to work out. But it feels premature to talk about it just yet. But once we get in, get the typewriters out and start putting up the script, because then it's going to be one of those things where, okay, these Bills were written out. They were written off like they weren't going to make the playoffs. It wasn't look good. They were 6-6 at one point. They're like, what the heck is going on? They lost to the Patriots. They lost to the Broncos, 12 men on the field. Then coach is getting just lambasted, you know what I'm saying, in the media. And they come out and just they move things. There's a great story in the making, but it just feels premature. But I love it. Rev, you're about to say something,
Man, I don't know, man. I lost my thought, bro. I just want to make sure that everybody's good, that y'all can hear me good, and we're in my.
We can hear you straight. Your melanin is popping right now, so y'all.
There we go, baby. There we go.
We good, man. So
there we go.
So yeah, man. We're looking forward to seeing what these Bills do, and you gotta. Today's game has to be one of those things where it can't be like a 21-14 victory. I don't know. It just feels like it would just be. It's not good enough. It's got to be like a 38-12, 38-6 drubbing. That's what it's got to be. We can't just play with
what
these
we
guys.
want. Yeah.
We can't play with these guys. You don't want a dog, you know what I mean? I don't know if anybody lives on a farm. You know, there's some dogs that go and search for rats and kill them and whatever. Destroy the rat. You know what I'm saying? And right now, the Chargers of the rat, don't play with it. Don't toss it around and all that stuff. Yo, destroy that shit. And that's what we got to do to these guys. Send the fucking message, part of my language, but you got to send the message that these Bills ain't playing around, man. Because right now, they're calling the Dallas Cowboys frauds. They're calling the Miami Dolphins frauds. Why? Because they're looking like a fraudulent team. And right now, ain't nobody want to see the Bills right now. And if we play with these guys and not mess and not take care of business, they might try to put the F word on us too. Be like, these Bills ain't as tough as we thought they were. Because I mean, the Chargers that just got killed by the Raiders, they're just having a hard time with these Chargers. No, we need to see an absolute ass whooping today, and I'm hoping that it happens tonight. Where, like Zebot said, kick back, relax, have a beer. Caroline can come around, just joke around with you.
Yeah, man.
That's what we how it all see all plays out. Gentlemen, I do want to ask you on this record that Josh Allen is going for. How crazy is it to be able to get 4 years straight with 40 plus touchdowns?
It's never happened.
He's going to make history.
It's crazy.
Yes. I feel like it was just yesterday, man, when we were all talking about how, and I think Rico, I think you may have said it recently about how, man, if we can get one of the quarterbacks to throw for 3,000 yards, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we got to get that 3,000 yard mark. Oh, we got to get a quarterback to finally throw for 300 yards in a game, you know. And here we are, and we have one of the greatest young quarterbacks in the modern day era, and he's on the brink of making history with 40 touchdowns in 4 straight years. Like, that is ridiculous. That's all the more reason why like this coaching staff and this franchise, this organization needs to look and understand who they really have at their disposal. Like, we have a generational guy that does not come around often, and they have to do whatever it takes to make sure they bring a Lombardi trophy to the 716. They have to do that for him.
It's one of those situations where it's surreal. I mean, Zeba, how did you feel about when we were at the 22nd spot and we needed a quarterback? We didn't have one. Brandon Beane started cooking. He moves to Glenn to the where are you moving to?
Cordy Glenn to Cincy.
Yeah, he moves it to Cincy, gets down to the 12th spot, then moves from the 12th spot to the 7th spot to the Bucks. And then we get when you're seeing all this materialize, and now you look at the quarterback that we have now, how crazy. We have actually a franchise quarterback. We've been asking for this for years. The amount of quarterbacks that we've gone through, you must be like, man, this is amazing.
Well, I wasn't thinking that. I remember being in the room with some Jets fans, my buddy Dan, when they drafted Darnold, started freaking out, telling me that I better get ready for the basement of the AFC East for the foreseeable future. Mm-hmm. Right? You watch Baker go, you watch Darnold go, and you look at the track record of luck the Bills have had in any capacity at all. And you know how lucky you had to be for Allen to not only be there, but to also then be able to develop into what he did, especially based on what everybody thought he was. And what he was a project. That's accurate. But above that, most people thought that it would take a minor miracle for him to become what he has become. So from the Bills fans' perspective, when you look back at all of the unlucky moments we've had, that moment in particular, I don't know if we talk about enough just how lucky we were.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That it happened. And then you look at what's gone on since then and what has unfolded. Truly unbelievable. It's not like they had him at the number 1 pick. It's not like he came into the draft as an ultimate lock where he was going to be the next great. The amount of things that had to go right and did go right are unbelievable, and it'll never, ever be lost on me. It's amazing. That's all you can say.
It is amazing. Now, I'm looking at the roster today, folks, and I'm going to share my screen here. And it's really nice to actually be able to share my screen and not my computer freeze on everybody. So check this out, folks, as I share my screen here. And we're going to take a look here and get this thing cracking here. So I actually did have it set up, but now it's gone. The active game roster for tonight.
Oh, I got that for you.
Yeah, you want to pop that up? Mine's not working right now.
Yeah.
I had the screen popped up and it didn't go up on there.
Yeah, let me open it up for you.
So Leonard Fournette, let's get right into the goods because Leonard Fournette has been, he's up. It's his time and he's ready to roll. Are we feeling good about Leonard? Here, I got it right now. I got it. Are we feeling good about Leonard Fournette, folks? Let's take a look at what we're staring here. So inactive tonight. We obviously knew Micah Hyde was going to be off. Ty Johnson was dealing with that stinger / shoulder when he banged into that player. AJ, obviously Epinesa is dealing with the rib injury, so we got that. And we have two guys that have been on this inactive list for the longest time. But who's going to be making a debut in a Bills uniform, number 5, Leonard Fournette. So we're gonna have James Cook and Leonard Fournette and Latavius Murray coming through alongside with Reggie Gilliam to hold it down at the running back spot. Folks, let us talk about it. How are we feeling about this inactive, this game breakdown, what we have going with this roster? Are we confident? Do we feel good about this? Let me start with Z-Bot, with Leonard Fournette getting called up. Playoff Lenny, Lombardi Lenny. What are you feeling about that one?
It doesn't do anything for me. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It does nothing for me. They brought him in, and did you not forget that he was even on the team until you realized they activated him today? I'm more excited to see if James Cook can continue what he's doing. Never mind who's behind him, because what Fournette's going to do is probably come in and do the exact same thing Latavius Murray's been doing, and that's just being a battering ram down near the goal line and getting in the end zone, which I've loved. But James Cook has the potential to go on to his 5th straight 100-plus yard game, right? Comes off a game last week where he single-handedly basically beat the Dallas Cowboys. So the Leonard Fournette is a fun topic because he was a notable player for a while in this league, of course. But for me, I don't know how much it does for me. I will say, though, Ty Johnson, you brought him up earlier, and he's a good example because he's a guy that I didn't even know. Was he on the roster under Ken Dorsey? And then Joe Brady takes over, and all of a sudden you're like, who's this Ty Johnson guy making plays? So the caveat to what I'm saying, and to kind of curb my own enthusiasm a bit here, I will say that maybe Joe Brady's got something up his sleeve for Leonard Fournette that I'm not anticipating, because he had that for Ty Johnson. And if you would have asked me, Rico, going into the Joe Brady takeover, what are your thoughts on what Ty Johnson's going to do for this offense? I would have been like, nothing. And then he wound up being a pretty damn cool piece over the last couple of weeks. So maybe that will be Leonard Fournette. But if we're talking about the running back room, my focus is more on let James Cook continue to add to the catering service that he has been establishing over the last month and a half here.
I'm with you in terms of he's probably going to give, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of reprieve to James Cook. But at the end of the day, listen, he's been itching to get onto the field and touch the football. And if we get him the same amount of touches that Ty Johnson was getting, between 6 to 10 touches alongside Latavius Murray, I mean, goal line is where he's probably going to be his best. But I think it's nice to just see that we have another player that can contribute. But I'm with you when I say I want to see more from James Cook. Leave that brother in the kitchen, let him chef up, yes, and let's see what he can cook. Because I said something yesterday. I know that we've all been in a position where our parents have asked us to do something, or they wanted more from us because they expect more from us. And the minute that we do something for them, like, hey, little Z-Bot, I want you to go mow that lawn. Dad, I don't know how to mow the lawn. No, I want you to mow the lawn, and I want you to do zigzags. I want you to give me those patterns, those crisp patterns. And all of a sudden, Z-Bot gives him crisp patterns on the lawn, right length. And Dad says, I knew you could do it. Guess what? You're going to do that every single time going forward. And Z-Bot's like, shit, I don't know what I got myself into.
Yeah.
Z-Bot, I'm going to tell you, James Cook just put himself in that position. You gave us $179, 25 carries. I know you can do it. So now, keep it rolling, man. Keep it rolling. I want the same type of production going forward. It doesn't have to be $179, but now I know that we can, if we need to break down and just true clock, I can give you 17, 18, 19, 20 carries, 25 carries if I need to, 30 if we got there. But when you got playoff Lenny to take a bit of the load off the team, you got Latavius Murray, good things are going to happen. But I'm really pleased with what James Cook has been doing. But my goodness, I didn't realize it, but James Cook is 3rd in the league in rushing.
It's
James Cook is right. James Cook is right there, guys. I'll say this about James Cook. He is, and then I sent this to the group earlier. I told Bot, I said, yo, Joe Brady's going to be in his bag tonight because look, we got James Cook. He needs 32 rushing yards to eclipse 1,000 yards this season. Like the last time the Buffalo Bills have hit 1,000-yard rusher was LaShawn McCoy, and we were all clamoring about the need for Motor Singletary and whatnot. But here's James Cook. Yo, he's proven to be RB1, bro. Like Mr. RB1. 32 yards rushing.
I don't even.
My guy, my guy. I looked at it last week and I was like, yo, I can't believe this guy carried the rock for 25 times in a game, plus his receiving yards. Like we were talking about when he got drafted, like this guy is not a bell cow back. He's too small. He's undersized, whatever. I think we can so far maybe squash that because the bro is proven that he can carry the load. And if this guy, and I think he's going to do it, he's probably going to do it tonight, can eclipse 1,000 yards on the ground for the first time since LaShawn McCoy?
Listen,
he's eating, bro.
Let me ask you a question. Let's go back to like Saturday last week before the Cowboys game. And I asked you, to the nearest number, how many yards do you think James Cook has on the ground? I probably would have said, I don't know, 600. I don't get it. Every time I look at it, I literally go like this.
How?
And last week, it makes it make more sense in your mind because you saw that and then you see that and it clicks. But you want to talk about maybe the quietest, awesome year for a second-year player, James Cook. You're staring at it.
It's incredible. I mean, the guy, Rico hated that RB1 term.
Oh my God,
so bad.
Everyone knows that. Good God,
he's such an idiot. He wants to change. He's such an ass.
Moving on. Let's keep it moving on.
Oh yeah, you got.
I don't see Breece Hall on that list, Rico.
Let's do every freaking day in the chat. What about Breece Hall? What's your boy Breece Hall?
Oh my God!
I'll tell you this though, having James Cook eclipse 1,000 yards today it would be amazing. The guy's at 968. Like, listen, top 10 running backs right now, starting from 10 up: Rashad White, Travis Etienne, Tony Pollard, David Montgomery, Derrick Henry, DeAndre Swift. Then you got Raheem Mostert. Then you got James Cook. Raheem Mostert has been having a phenomenal year. The guy's got 18 rushing touchdowns, having a great year. Here comes James Cook.
I think he had 8 of them against the Broncos, though.
Yeah, seriously, right? it's unbelievable to see what this brother's doing, man. So we're gonna have a 40+ touchdown quarterback. We're gonna have 1,000-yard back. We're close to having. I think he's over 1,000 yet, but he's probably close. Stephon Diggs is probably over 1,000. Is he over 1,000 yet?
I don't think so.
Stephon Diggs is over 1,000. So
he is over 1,000 already. Okay,
1,000-yard receiver, 1,000-yard back, and we're gonna have a 40 touchdown quarterback. We cannot not make the playoffs. That would be the biggest blunder. We gotta run the tables, man. And this is the time to run the tables. Now, getting ready for this game. Obviously, this is gonna be a big game. What was it like? We're like 40 minutes until the game starts. Looking at around the league, we're just gonna go away from this squad right now. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to Bussin' with the Boys. I wanted to ask you guys this and what you guys thought. I think it was Will Compton with the all whites and the all blacks.
Oh yeah.
Tell me how I'm laughing my ass out. Some people feel totally insensitive about that, but like, yo, that all white team, that's a badass team, man. CMC and you got Josh Allen on the same squad, fam. Yo,
they got me playing corner though on that team. Last I checked.
Listen, yo, you be a badass. You look like a corner that would actually jam up. Like, once you jam that up, ain't nobody getting.
He's been a starting white corner in the league in 20 years. I saw, was it almost 20 years? Yeah. Yes.
Jason Sehorn.
Only one thing that comes to mind when I read.
Look it up.
One name that comes to mind when knowing about a white corner is Jason Sehorn. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's a long time Sehorn last played in 2004.
There you go.
So we're going on 20 years. So
my first year of college, man. Like, come on now.
Yeah, we're gonna have some liabilities in coverage, the way I'm saying it right now.
Golly, man. So
that's an interesting topic. I think that would be a hell of a game. A hell of a game.
What? It'd be well. Listen, it was interesting because Barstool actually did a simulation.
I saw,
a Madden simulation, and it was just back and forth, just awesome shit. But like, I bring that up only because in terms of the corners and coverage and seeing what we've been doing in coverage with this defense, man. Rasul Douglas has been fantastic. You got Christian Benford coming into his own. He got his first interception this year. Dane Jackson's healthy. He's going to be coming back at some depth. But one player that has been impressing me lately, Cam Lewis. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Cam Lewis. Cam Lewis is really coming on and doing big things, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing these guys eat tonight. I think there's going to be some interceptions. I think there's going to be some turnovers, and we're going to have great field position And this is where, I mean, we turn it loose and get on them early. But this is going to be a fun one to watch. By the way, the final is in. The Pittsburgh Steelers just helped us with a 34-11 win, which brings the AFC picture super on, because now the Pittsburgh Steelers are 8-7. The Cincinnati Bengals fall to 8-7. So now Pittsburgh probably takes that wild in front of the Bengals, now sitting outside looking in. What a weird turn of events. Now the Bills, obviously the Bills should be able to win this, gets us to 9 wins. That should put us in a wild card spot, should it not?
I think tomorrow, if it's something to do with the Houston game, then the Bills would be the 7 seed, I believe.
Boys, we're
like
close.
I told you, man. I mean, this has been an utter mind f. Like, just keep winning, and Dolphins keep shitting yourself. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, we need the Browns to win tomorrow.
Chip Happen says Fournette plus or 8.5 fantasy points. High from Florida. Don't start Fournette.
Yeah, I'm taking the under on that.
Yeah. Don't start. Listen, don't do it. I don't know if you.
You know what though? Do not come back and tell me when he has 35 points. I don't want to hear it. It's not my fault.
By the way, salute to each and everybody, guys. Anybody tuned in right now, coming from Twitter, coming from Instagram. I think we got the Instagram popping right now. Maybe not, but we'll get that cracking. Things are developing with StreamYard. So smash that like as you guys are in here. I got my man Bot in here. I got my man Rev in here. Very, very rare that we get a chance to kind of get and do these things, because Z-Bot's been going to the games and having a good old time. And we're looking forward to getting a whole parade in Buffalo. That'd be freaking sweet, wouldn't it?
Oh man, I'm going.
Oh shoot, I'll be right with you, bro. I'll be right with you getting on that flight.
I'll be there physically. I don't know where I'll be mentally. I'm sure as hell we'll be there physically.
That's for damn sure. So going into this game, man, we need some bold predictions, and we need something that could stand out. It's very, very possible and very real that it could happen. And Rev, I'll start with you. Any bold predictions that you have for this game?
Okay. I'm gonna go off of this this tweet from AJ. I think his last name is Sabuiski. I don't know his last name. Forgive me if I mispronounced it, but he was just talking about these benchmarks today, and I'm gonna say the Bills hit it all. So Josh Allen, he's gonna go over 4,000 yards for the season today. James Cook is gonna get his 1,000 yards rushing today. Dalton Kincaid says he needs 9 receptions to get to 70 on the season. My brother was on my show the other night. He says, yo, if you got Dalton Kincaid in your fantasy starting right now, because he's going to feast on Murray, matching up with him on the linebacker. So I think Dalton Kincaid could get 9 receptions. That'd be crazy. Stephon Diggs, another 9 receptions to get his 100 receptions for the year. And then Ed Oliver needs a sack and a half to get his $500,000 incentive. So I say the Bills hit every benchmark today. Every benchmark. So
you're saying they're bankrupting Pagula tonight. They're just going for all the.
They're going for it, man. They're going for it. Everybody's gonna be happy. Halftime comes around, and you're gonna see Josh Allen coming out here with his ball cap, and the other island is gonna come into the game.
Stephon Diggs pulled up in a kilt with a high school Letterman's jacket on, so he might be going for 200 today. You don't pull up in that outfit unless you're ready to absolutely show out.
Well, listen,
Diggs is pumping off tonight.
I gotta say something, man. Ever since Diggs, got the braids in his hair, he hasn't been, the Diggs that we're accustomed to.
We need to go back to Afro Diggs.
I think the Afro needs to come back, man.
He had a little Afro. Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yo, Afro needs to come back. He got slick. He got the cornrows in. He been Stephon Diggs, but he hasn't been Stephon Diggs. You feel me? Yeah. So we're waiting on that. But this brother's been doing a fashion show. I mean, just when they were on the way to the plane, he had this I don't know what that thing was.
Did you see that big brown puffer? I mean, that thing looked like it would fit the Hulk. It was huge.
I didn't even know what to call it. He just had some kind of thing on there, and I was like, all right, man.
You know how I see this stuff? He reminds me a lot of A$AP Rocky, who does a lot of similar stuff.
Yes.
And you want to know how I always view this stuff? If I can look at that and not laugh, do you know how impossible that is to pull off? Like, if you were scrolling Twitter and saw me wearing that, you would stop, laugh your ass off, and stare at it for 20 minutes. When you see Diggs doing it, you're like, oh, Diggs pulling it off again. You keep scrolling. And that, I think, is so underappreciated. The level of cool you have to be able to walk out in that and no one bats an eye. It's like
See,
unbelievable.
but I can see you pulling off a kilt though. I can see that.
The kill
look
I
like you
might
can
be
rock
able to
it.
do. That gigantic
you can rock
puffer.
it.
The kill, I don't know. Maybe I would a kilt, but it would have to be on like St. Patrick's Day or something. If I'm just pulling up to the game well, maybe not the game. You can wear anything to a Bills game. I've worn some crazy shit to a Bills game.
Zeba, I think you're selling yourself short, bro. I think you definitely rock that big old that brown puffer.
You know what?
Maybe
I would. Maybe I'll do that. No, I can't do that. You guys don't understand.
You can do it, bro.
The fashion level of that dude is unmatched. It's crazy.
Oh yeah,
unbelievable.
I mean, he was doing those shows in Paris over the summer. It's Diggs. He was doing the fashion shows.
He's a fashionista, brother. He's a fashionista. That's what he does. But like, I'd rather him be more, you know what I'm saying, ready to, get the things popping off on the field than, looking cute, looking good when he's getting onto the plane and all that stuff. That's all great, Andy. But I need my dog on the field because he is a dog. So I mean, he's got another 1,000-yard season, which is fantastic. But we're looking forward to it.
Four straight.
Bold prediction, brother.
Man,
4 straight.
It's so hard in this game. I just don't even. Okay. I mean, what would be bold?
You call that fashion? It's fashion, brother. It's fashion.
I'm trying to think of another word for it. By the way, updated in the Hunt graphic featured right now on NBC. The Bills are at the top of the In the Hunt graphic.
Oh, watch out.
They were
there we go.
towards the bottom not all that long ago, but we go up and up and up and up. And my boy Karnacki's on the screen right now. Just wait till he hops on that screen after the Dolphins lose to the Cowboys tomorrow and things get really interesting. Okay. Bold prediction, fellas. I got a tough time making a bold prediction because I feel like I could say this one could finish 50-0 and you wouldn't look at me like I was crazy.
That's true.
So, my bold prediction tonight is that God bless him. Poor Easton Stick, 3 interceptions for him tonight. The Bills feast in the turnover department. My other bold prediction, because of the turnovers that I think the Bills can force, I think it's going to be another mellow day for Josh Allen. I think I want to see that as well. I think we're going to go out and they're going to continue to try to keep this rhythm where they're not going to diverge and do all these different things just because, the Chargers are allowing them to do it. I think they got such a good rhythm going right now that they stick with it and they just beat the Chargers in a fundamental way. I don't know if we're going to see Allen throwing the ball all over the field like I think he could in this game. I think you're going to see the maturity level that the Bills have displayed over the last month in a situation today where I could see them wanting to kind of go outside the lines a bit because it seems like it's there. I think we're going to see today why this team's built to be able to get it done in the playoffs based on what we've seen the last month. They're going to keep that going. But the defense, they're going to be the talking point after this one today. I think they're going to really make it tough. I don't know. Easton Stick, not only is it his second start with a first-time head coach today off a short week, but like you said earlier, Rico, his best receiver is a second-year guy who would be wide receiver 3 if Mike Williams and Keenan Allen were healthy. So I don't know what else to say. I don't know who he's going to throw it to. So my best guess, Rico, is his top receivers today. They might be a couple of the Bills' corners and safeties, if you ask me.
Very interesting. I like that. I gotta get into my bold prediction. I gotta get into some of the super chats, and we got my man Fluffy Panda. What's up, Fluff?
Boy,
yeah, he goes. A year or so ago, the Bengals team took us to the woodshed and made our O-line look like punks. Now, what a strange year, and what was to be a stacked AFC. Man, this stacked AFC that goes to show you the parity, and that's what makes the NFL so damn good.
Let's talk about that, man. Well, let's just talk about that, though, because Fluffy's saying was stacked. Go look at the playoff picture. I know the records might not indicate stacked. Mm-hmm. That playoff picture is stacked. Every one of these teams is closer to talent level than they are farther apart. The NFC, it's the Niners in the field, if you ask me. And right now we're looking at the Niners Invitational for the Super Bowl. But this AFC, I think many would argue, including myself, Baltimore's playing the best. After that, I think it is an utter crapshoot. And as of right now, the Bills are easily playing the best, if not the second best, football in the AFC. So I still think it's stacked, but it's stacked in a different way than we assumed. Teams are losing games they shouldn't, injuries, but it's never been more competitive, fellas, and that's what made this year so crazy.
1,000%. I couldn't disagree more. I couldn't agree more, because if you look at me, listen, at the end of the day, I mean, Zeba just pretty much put it in it. And if you look at the bottom, I mean, he just joked around like, "Hey guys, we're at the top of the in the hunt." Well, who's at the bottom of the in the hunt? And the bottom of the in the hunt, right, could easily take on the Ravens and beat the Ravens.
The Bills were in the bottom of the hunt last week.
It's
crazy.
So,
It flips quick, man.
Ravens and the Chiefs and all these boys that are kind of cushy up top in the playoff, looking down and saying, "Shit, if these Bills keep climbing, yo, it's gonna be a problem if they make it to the playoffs." So it's all about making it to the playoffs right now. So this AFC is absolutely stacked. GQ Bob says, "Yo, when we win, we will be holding a playoff spot tonight, since the Bengals are going to lose, which they did lose." So it's going to be a fun one, man. It's going to be fun one. We can go easily. We can get up to the damn number 2 seed if we keep things rolling and things fall our way.
Yeah.
Happy holidays, everyone, from GQ Bob. And I say happy holidays. I think we all share the same sentiments. Happy holidays to everyone. And I hope you guys have a great Christmas and Christmas feast. I already read that super chat here. Let's go, my man, Cody Benz. What's up, Cody? Cody Benz says, "Yo, Palmer in the flex or Minnesota Chandler or even Hubbard? What do you guys like for that?"
Can't start Palmer. You don't want that tonight, especially for the
man. That's
playoffs.
tonight.
Yeah, but Palmer, he's looking to start Palmer because Palmer is going to be coming.
He's going to be the number one guy.
So I almost said some pause where they said coming from behind, but he's going to be, the score is going to be low. The opportunities are going to be very high for him. So the attempts are going to keep going, and there's no Keenan Allen. So I understand why he wants to go Palmer. Chandler, on the other hand, with Minnesota, and Chuba Hubbard, the Panthers are just no good, man. So it's honestly between Chandler and
that's a whole lot.
If those are your options, you're probably
There's the boy James Cook. We got him on the screen right now, fellas. The all white tonight, so clean. And I gotta tell you, you want to know why James Cook's having this year, fellas? Because he's wearing a single digit number. If he wasn't wearing the single digit number, I don't know if he'd be having the same type of year. Look how clean that looks. Look at him.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, brother. You're not wrong. Did you? Oh, so that means that tells me that you ordered Peacock. You got Peacock on.
No, right now it's on standard and NBC. They're still trying to shill it. They're still trying to shill the Peacock.
Okay. I got I got you.
Trying to get you to
Largemouth Hunter says, "Yo, 415 people watching right now, and there's only 109 likes.
Christmas Eve, no less.
Come on now.
Guys, smash that like right now. Let's get this thing up to 500
Don't
likes.
take but a second.
Let's do it. Bold prediction for me, man. I could easily say Leonard Fournette goes for over 100 yards, but I ain't gonna do that. So for me, Poona Ford is getting the start today, and I think we're gonna hear Poona Ford's name not as often, but he's gonna make a contribution. He's been on the inactive list. I mean, damn near the whole damn season. There was such a big deal of we need to sign Poona Ford. Okay, we did, and those brothers been sitting collecting dust on the inactive list. But I think he tries to make himself a name, and I think he has a good game today. Now that was a very low key.
I think you can do better than that, Rico.
Yeah, I think I can do better than that. But I had to give some love to my man Poona Ford because my man Cody Benz brought it up. So I had to show him some love. So, but a bold prediction: Josh Allen breaks that record in the first half. I think Josh Allen breaks that record in the first half. He gets you a rushing touchdown in the first quarter and then throws a couple touchdowns in the second. And Bob's your uncle. We're up 21-0, and then we cruise the rest of the way. I don't want to see Kyle Allen too soon, but I'd love to see Kyle Allen in the fourth quarter because it's a route, and we've already broken all the records. So Allen breaks the record in the first half of today's game. I think it's easily it's doable. 3 touchdowns. He could do that. We're at 37 total touchdowns right now. We got this. So that's what I'm looking for as of right now. Fellas, one last question that I got to ask, and it pertains to Joe Brady. Is Joe Brady worthy enough to get that interim tag removed from his name if we get into the playoffs? If he leads us to the playoffs, we get into the playoffs, does that interim tag just get out of here? You're going to be the OC for the squad going forward. That's it. Or do you just make it run its course, go through the interview process and see who comes out and we go from there? Or is this like, I don't need to even see that interim OC off. You're going to be the coach. Go ahead. What are your thoughts, Bot? I'll start with you.
Oh my God, make the playoffs, and then see what goes from there. But I think if they make the playoffs, and there's no harm in keeping them. I don't think there's any harm in keeping them. You would not be put in a more adversary situation than he was put in And he is a 60-yard field goal at the end of regulation against Philadelphia from winning every single one of his games since he's been the OC, with them averaging around 30 points a game in each and every one of those. So you make the playoffs, you win out here and, maybe do some damage in the playoffs. We'll see what happens. Either way, I think it's Joe Brady's job, and deservingly so. I don't know the argument against it right now that anybody would have because, like I said, you're put in a very, very tough position, and to have flourished the way he has, I think it's remarkable, and it's the reason the Bills are in the spot they are today. So he 100%, in my opinion, deserves to have that job next year.
Rev, are you feeling the same way?
Look, transpose that Ice Cube from Friday GIF that says, yes. Yes. Get that brother on like right now. I don't need to see him in the play. I've seen enough. Joe Brady is so ready to take over the helm at offensive coordinator. When we look at just the difference between him and Dorsey, it's a great gulf. And we already have the guy that's been in-house for a year, and now he's finally getting his shot right now in an interim basis. Why would you rock the boat and be willing to risk it? You know what I'm saying? Because in my opinion, when the Bills make the playoffs, because I believe they're going to do it, when the Bills make the playoffs and they keep on going on this run, not only are you going to have to worry about Joe Brady being the offensive coordinator, you're going to have to worry about him getting head coaching opportunities, because he's already run the gamut, already with people who have been interviewing like last year. I think that's why Sean McDermott was able to scoop him up. So if he is able to you put this run together and people see him and they see what he's done and they get into the playoffs and his offense looks incredible. Look, if Sean McDermott hasn't signed him by now, he may have to worry about losing him to a potential head coaching job, because I had my brother who's a diehard Chargers fan. He said, look, we have our eyes on Joe Brady too. And so if push comes to shove and we get to interview Joe Brady, he said, man, I love him. I've had my eyes on him for a while. And they've already been looked at a Dayball beforehand. You know what I'm saying? So why not look at the guy who has turned this offense and the entire team around since they let go of Ken Dorsey? I think Sean McDermott, man, he's playing with fire if he doesn't go ahead and remove that tag ASAP.
I love that you said that, because he might be playing with fire, because there's going to be some head coaching jobs. Apparently, I saw something. There's going to be something like 10 plus head coaching jobs available this offseason.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a lot.
Listen, Joe Brady might be a candidate to get one of them jobs. So, and this is the problem that we had last year, because we were so fearful that Ken Dorsey was going to leave that we're like, oh, let's bring him onto the squad because Josh Allen wants him, right? And look where we're at right now. So would we be rushing into this because we don't want to disappoint Josh Allen, disappoint this offense, because the offense is rolling right now?
I think it's different though, Rico. I think it's different because last year when the Bills did that, we didn't see anything from Ken Dorsey. He wasn't an interim OC or nothing. We saw nothing. He was just a quarterback coach, and they got rid of that. Brian Daboll got the head coaching job. Now we're seeing 4+ games. Going on. From now to the rest of the season of Joe Brady. So we have that we you know what I'm saying, we have that work, and that we can judge him off of. And that right there, trust me, when the season is over with, he's not gonna Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills are not gonna be the only team looking at Joe Brady.
For sure.
So
we're gonna have to try to make a pitch, because Josh Allen, he's gonna have something to say. Bring him in there. We're like, hey, we did this already with you. We listened to you about Ken Dorsey. Yeah. Look what you made me do. I had to go fire my friend. But anyway, I digress. But listen, the game is shortly around the corner. I want you guys to get ready to join my man Z-Bot. I was gonna say Z-Bot. Join my man P Money. Pierre is gonna be doing his live show. You guys know how animated Pierre gets when he sees a big play happening. Hey, you know how he does, man. He gets ready. And we're gonna be cracking this thing. Hopefully, this game is just a rout. And sometimes we're due. We deserve it as a fan base. We deserve to watch a game that's a rout for our Bills. Mm-hmm. We just want to be able to kick back and have conversations and not even have to look at the screen, because we're just up 37-0. That's what we want. If the Raiders can put up 63 points, that we whoop the Raiders.
Aiden O'Connell.
Come on, man. Aiden O'Connell. 4 TDs on you guys. Bro, Josh Allen's coming to town, man. So he just doesn't have to overthink things. Just find what you got to do and let's go. and let's get going. And everybody's healthy. I mean, relatively healthy. So we'll take that. And this O-line has been playing off the hook. So we good, man. So fellas, before we get out of here, man, score predictions. Are we in? Are we out?
Yeah.
I'm not making one.
Hey, I'm down, bro.
I'm
giving one. I'll give one, bro.
Yeah,
I'll give one. I ain't scared. So for me, it's a huge win for the Bills. I'm calling a 40 burger. I'm calling it right now. I think Josh Allen and these boys, they go put on a route. They don't play down to their opponent because they understand what's at stake. Their foots are on the gas continually all night long. And I say the Bills win 42-17. And 17 is being very generous. Very generous.
Very generous. I like that. What you got, Z-Bot?
I got something awfully similar. Give me 41-13 Buffalo.
41-13. You know what? Let me go 35-0. I think I like we can blanket these guys because the Raiders, although a solid team, you know what I'm saying? Like I like a 30, I like 30-0, 35-0. Don't even get a chance to get into the red zone to get your
I like
field.
that, Rico. I like that 0.
35. We blanket them, and what it does is it props up his defense, props up the offense, and then we get ready to go and pay back the Patriots.
Oh, the Patriots.
I can't wait. Mac Jones. I mean, Coach Bell. Like, I don't give a damn who's gonna be there. We're gonna handle business. So that's what it comes down to. It's just gonna be. It should be a blowout today. But stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. So let's just hope that everybody's healthy. And it's a beatdown, and we get out of this thing and we get going. So that's it for us, folks. We're going to let you guys enjoy the game. Don't forget, join Pierre with the live stream that's going to be happening right now. He's going to be drunk by the end of this. He's going to be taking these shots. You better not take those shots with water shots. We want the real stuff. We better see you pour from the bottle. You better. And listen, guys, before we get out of here, man, Christmas is around the corner. Are we do we get anything ahead of time that we know we're getting for Christmas that you guys are like can't wait that you got, or what? Anything that you're getting for Christmas?
I already gave myself this dub in my mind, so they better not give me the gift receipt. They better throw that out so I can't return it.
No gift receipt here, baby. Rev, what you got? I mean, you got anything for Christmas that you already know?
Man, look here. My Christmas is in February.
Oh, you pushing that?
No, I'm just kidding.
Push that. You pushing that? I like that. I'll take that too, man. I'll take that too.
Hey, wifey just told me we got a super chat, man. I think we missed it.
Oh, let's check the super chats because we don't want to disrespect anybody and not get the super chat in there. So let's see what we got in the super chat. So we got the happy holidays coming from GQ Bob. Appreciate that, GQ. These are old ones here. And
please talk about this one. We had it up. We had it up. Brew Crew Fishing says, "Merry Christmas, Fanatics. Go Bills." We appreciate you, and that's a perfect way to end this stream. So let's enjoy this game. It's gonna be a fun one. We got the all white crisp uniforms, and we're gonna leave the stadium with the all white crisp uniform. Ain't nothing gonna be dirty tonight. So we'll get that thing cracking. So listen, Z-Bot, Rev, appreciate y'all, and we gonna get at it again. It's on Saturday night, so I hope you guys have a good Christmas. I hope you guys have a good Christmas meal, and let's get a freaking Christmas win. Let's do it. Merry Christmas, fellas, and everybody.
Let's do it, man.
Give me that outro music. That outro music was actually pretty fire.
Oh, that's the wrong one. There you go.
Yeah, I like that one. DJ Z-Bot in the building right now.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Turn it up.
Then Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, man, and we will catch you guys on the flip side. You guys have a great game, and we'll catch you guys post game with your boy Rico. Let's get at it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we out.
Go Bills, baby. Go Bills.